Ooh, honey, do I have some boy tea for y'all. Hello everybody and welcome back to another video! So in today's video, it is going to be a boy story and I've been dying to tell you all about this boy story. And typically whenever, you know, I encounter a boy and things go amok, I make a story time video about it. I actually have a whole playlist about different boy stories, so if you want to listen to more, be sure to go and click the link in the description down below. There's a whole playlist of it since probably high school. It's been a long time since I've had a boy story because, you know, it's a struggle dating in the LGBT plus community, let alone being gender non-conforming and non-binary, and so my dating pool is very narrow. I mean, of course, we have Daddy Taehyung right here, honestly, the only man I can trust. But today's boy story is going to be about a recent date that I went on, and it was in LA, and it turns out that I think he was trying to use me in like social climb and like clout chase. So the purpose of this video is to not necessarily bash on this dude or anything like that. More so just me retelling my experience and my side of the story and, you know, a form of entertainment for you all. And hopefully y'all learn something from this, you know, it inspires you to learn from my experiences. So sit back, relax, grab a snack. No, literally, I feel like this video is going to be like half an hour long, so honestly, listen to this in the car while you're driving somewhere. Play this video while you're getting ready for bed, doing your skincare routine, while you're doing your makeup in the morning. I don't know, but I hope you enjoy. And yeah, without further ado, let's get into this boy story. So how this video is going to go is that I'm going to actually be splitting this story up into different chapters based on song titles that I've been relating to, based on the particular phase within this relationship. I'll actually link the song titles too in the description down below if you want to listen to the song and see where my headspace was at. But chapter 1 is going to be called Julien. So we're gonna call this boy Jed, based on the Bachelorette contestant Jed, because in that show, he actually signed up for the show because he wanted to elevate his music career, somehow land a record deal or something, and so when Hannah, the Bachelorette, found out that he was fake and he wasn't actually genuine and there for her, she said needs to go. So I feel like dating apps are so difficult for me because of the way that I am, being gender non-conforming and non-binary and whatnot, and so like Tinder, even Grindr, don't work out at all. And so my approach to talking to the people that I want to talk to is just directly DMing them on Instagram. I see it, I like it, I want it, I DM. So when I followed Jed, I kind of already had an idea of what this guy was about and what he was like into. Like all his posts, all his stories, all his live streams, they were very telling of what his goals were, and you could tell that he wanted fame in some capacity, whether it's acting, singing, dancing, or influencing. But in this particular case, he actually DM'd me first, and I was like, oh, okay, shooting your shot, okay. And I'm going to read you the very first DM that he ever sent me. The message reads, I've seen your videos, you are amazing at what you do, truly, nowhere near as flawless as you. And this was honestly one of the first times that a guy has actually slid in my DMs and reached out to me first, and so, but knowing what he was about and his page and his goals and whatnot, I had my guard up. I wasn't quite sure what his intentions were, but I was like, you know what? Let's get to know this guy and see what he's about. So he's actually from LA, and during the time that I was talking to him, I think I was about to go to LA in like 2 weeks or something like that, and so I was like, let's plan to hang out and like meet up and whatnot, and he said, yes, I'm down, let's do it. So we start texting, we make plans, and so let's just fast forward to the date. So where we hung out was actually like a mall. It was like an outdoor kind of mall. It honestly reminded me of Hawaii. There were palm trees and there were like really nice aesthetic locations to take photos for Instagram and whatnot. It was a beautiful mall in LA, and so that's where we were, and we had dinner at the restaurant Din Tai Fung, which is a Chinese restaurant. He actually picked me up and we ended up driving to the place, but going into this hangout, I literally thought we were just going to hang out, like, oh, you know, this is just a cute guy, we're just gonna hang out, because when does anything ever happen to me? Like, let's be real here. Like, the last time and first time I ever went on a date was like 3-4 years ago. And so I literally went into this, you know, which no expectations, but we literally hit it off right off the bat. We talk about so many different things, like our goals, ambitions, dreams. We start talking about our families and like where he was from and how he grew up and his mom. And then I actually ended up opening up about my mom and how she passed away. If you did not know, my mom passed away last year. And so that was very like vulnerable for me to do, and especially for someone I met for the first time. But for some reason, I just felt that we clicked so well, and I trusted him with that because he was so open and vulnerable. And so I entrusted him with sensitive topics like that. All of these conversations were taking place before dinner outside of this mall, and it was so beautiful as we were placing our name because it was a long wait for Din Tai Fung. But he asked me, he's like, oh, are you cold? And I was like, yeah, a little bit, because not gonna lie, LA gets a little bit chilly in the evening. He goes, oh, we can go back to my car and grab a jacket. And I was like, okay. And so he actually ends up giving me his jacket to borrow. Which was so sweet, and I was like, oh, this is so cute. Like, I don't know, like he's just being a nice friend guy. Like, I don't know, like. So dinner time comes, we continue our conversations. It's a great time. Halfway into dinner, he literally just lays everything out there and just like is upfront and honest and straightforward. He literally says, I just want to let you know, I'm curious. I literally sat there and was like, when he told me that, the tone of the conversations and just like everything kind of switched, because initially it was like, oh, like we're just friends, we're hanging out. But when he told me that and he said, oh, I'm not here to play games, I'm not here to mess with your feelings, I'm not here to lead you on, I just want to be upfront and honest with you and let you know where I stand, just in case you go home and think like, oh, he did this, he said that, what does that mean? Which I truly appreciated, like the guy that just like lay everything out there and is upfront with what they want, what they're looking for, and their intentions. Like, A+. So at that point forward, I was like, okay, this is getting serious. Like, he wants to get into the nitty gritty. And basically we were just talking about relationships and his past relationships and then my past relationships and how they haven't worked out and why they haven't worked out. And something that I brought up to him was that I really value communication. And I think it's so important that in any relationship, whether it be a friendship, relationship, that you tell each other what's on your mind, what you're feeling, anything that's upsetting you, like just tell them where your head is at. And he really took that in. But something that I learned, listen children, I don't think I should have told him that. I don't think you should tell anyone if you're seeing someone what you're looking for, because I feel that if they were the one or they were like good on their own, they wouldn't need a reminder or they wouldn't need to be told what to do. They should just be good on their own. Like he should have just been naturally good at communication, you know what I mean? So I felt that I should have just been general with it, like, oh, I like funny guys, I like smart guys, I like cute guys, you know, like whatever. But that's something that I definitely have learned. Because who knows, maybe this guy really is terrible at communication, but because I said that, he just wants to be really good for some reason because he's trying to get something out of me or something. I don't know. As we're opening up to one another, I brought up how, you know, life is too short and I tend to stop and smell the roses. And he really took that and remembered that tiny detail, which I thought was super cute. And he reiterated that later on. But dinner was done, he paid for it, so I'm so grateful for that. Like, honestly, it was such a fun day, and like, I'm so thankful that he was good of a guy at that time. We decided to walk around the outdoor mall a little bit more, and he actually ends up putting his arm around me. And at that point, I'm like, okay, this is a date now. Like, this is not just a hangout. Like, friends don't do that. Strangers don't do that. Like, this is a date now. So he puts his arm around me and then I like just hug him and we start walking. Like, it was kind of cute. I have his jacket over my shoulder and like just like... We end up at a bar and we just grab a drink and we start chit-chatting some more surface level things like, oh, like what kind of movies do you like? Do you like scary movies? Do you like this type of music? Like, who do you listen to? And so, yeah, it was just very... It was a very good first date, honestly. Like, when I think back on that memory, like, there's no denying that it was a good first date. Like, it is what it is. You know, I had such a fun time. I'm so thankful that he allowed me to have that experience. And I was telling him, too, that for me, it's kind of hard to open up and that there are so many different sides to a person, and so I want him to see the different sides to me. And the next day, I actually had an event, and that was one of the main reasons why I was in LA, and I decided to invite him to my event so he could come see me and see the multiple sides of me. So here comes chapter 2 called Cruel Summer, because I kind of had a cruel summer. So now it is the next day, and this is the day of my event, and he's with me, and it was just so sweet for him to want to come and support me. He actually drove me to the place too, so I'm really grateful and thankful that he offered that. And yeah, it was a great day because I got to do my thing, and he really got to see me, you know, yesterday on a one-on-one date, and then he got to see me basically in my element. And so he mentioned how he was so grateful to see the different sides of me and how it was a privilege to see the many sides of Kevin. And I thought that was so cute and so sweet because it truly is a privilege to be a part of somebody's life. I don't think anybody owes you anything. I don't think you owe anybody anything. And so to be a part of somebody's life, I think you shouldn't take that for granted. It is a privilege to be a part of somebody's life and to see the multiple sides of them. Throughout the event, he would reach over and he would like grab me on the shoulder and play with my arm and just like be very like flirty and like show PDA. And he mentioned how he wasn't really a PDA type of person, but he's doing these things to give me reassurance that he's still interested, which really meant a lot to me because, like I said again, I really value communication, and the fact that he's doing these things shows that he's putting effort towards a potential relationship or whatever this is. Like on the day he put his arm around me, and then at the event he also put his arm around me, and he basically was saying how he's not afraid or ashamed to be seen with me, which really meant a lot. And I feel that a lot of queer folks they have that fear when they are dating somebody that, you know, their significant other is going to be ashamed that they're seen with them in public or whatnot. I mean, there definitely are reasons, like such as safety and whatnot, but for him to be proud in a sense, to be seen with me, like it was so sweet. It was so genuine. It was so pure. So the event is over. He actually drops me off back at my place, and I'm getting ready to go out somewhere, but as I'm getting ready, I remember him, once I was done, he looks over at me and he just grabs me by the chin and like does a little flick kind of thing, like, and goes, "You look cute." And I was just like, "Thank you." So once I got ready, he dropped me off at my next destination, and that was basically it. The night ends, and he actually calls me after everything, and he literally says, "Oh, I had such a great day yesterday, and today. Thank you so much for letting me be a part of your life and letting me see the multiple sides of you. I hope you have a lot of fun at your event again tomorrow. I'm sorry I can't be there to support you, but I hope you stop and smell the roses." Like, how cute. Like, he remembered that detail and like he brought that up, and I was just like, ugh. At that point, I was like, dude, if you want to take me out on a second date and he had a bouquet of roses, that would have been the cherry on top of this who knows what story, but but for him to call me and just like tell me how he's feeling, like it meant a lot. But later that night, after that call and after he like finished doing whatever he did that night, we ended up DMing each other and we got real deep into conversation. And so he starts talking about how he has a lot to think about because, like I said, he's curious, so I'm not sure what his sexuality is from what he's telling me. And that's valid, you know what I mean? You do what you need to do. All I know is for me, at the moment, I was having fun with it, even though I knew it wouldn't go far because he wasn't sure with his sexuality and he wasn't sure with what he wanted. Also with him, when we were talking about his goals and dreams and ambitions, and like I said, how he wanted some type of recognition in some capacity, he wants to pursue acting, modeling, maybe even influencing. And so because he is still trying to navigate through his career, that's also a big red flag for me when finding someone, because I want somebody that has their shit together basically, and because I think that I'm pretty solid on my foundation, I want somebody to be at the same level. So as we're DMing, he opens up to me saying how, you know, more than anything, like, I want to be your friend, and I think that's all that I can offer to you right now is a friendship. And, you know, at the moment, it was just like, darn, like, this kind of sucks, but at the same time, you know, I kind of see it coming because, like I said, he's curious and he's still figuring out himself and his career and whatnot. And so, you know, I'm really glad that he was upfront, honest, and straightforward about what he wanted pretty early on, too. So once he said that, let's just get to know one another more, that's where I drew the line. I said, okay, I respect it. I'm not gonna cross that boundary. And the thing is, I was willing to, in a way, like, wait. I was willing to support him. I was willing to be friends with him until I guess he was ready. I'd like to think that I'm an understanding person, but at the same time, I value my time, and so, you know, I could only wait for so long, and so at the time I was like, you know what, I'm willing to support you in your endeavors, and whatever you need, I'm here for you, and we'll just see where this goes. So this chapter is called All That because there's a Carly Rae Jepsen lyric that says, show me that you want me, that I'm all that. I will be there, I will be your friend. And that really resonates with me because at this chapter, I went back home from LA. LA is over, back home to Seattle, and I want effort. I want communication, I want reciprocation, I want action. And so for the first week back home in Seattle, he was really good at communication. He would text me like, oh, I'm about to go to the gym. Oh, I'll text you when I'm off work. And so I really valued that. And at the same time, I'm not expecting a text every day. Like we all have lives. We're all busy with our own things. That's fine. As long as you consider my time and as long as you are respectful of that, that's all I'm asking for. Something that I really value in a relationship is FaceTime, and one of my best friends and I became best friends because of FaceTime. Like, he would FaceTime me every day, hours on end, and I feel that you really bond and connect with the person through FaceTime way more than text messaging. And so I requested for Jed to FaceTime me one weekend, and so we tried to plan a little FaceTime date. And so he ends up FaceTiming me on a Friday, and he literally FaceTimed for like 5 minutes because I think he had to go to work or something. But basically he was like, oh my god, I feel like I just saw you yesterday. I miss you so much. How are you? Da 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 da. Very brief but very cute. And I was just saying how like, oh, I want to talk to you more. And so we tried to plan another FaceTime date the next day, but something happened around this time that really just changed the entire story and my perception of who he was. So the entire week when I was back home and we were texting, everything that he's been texting me has really only been about him and his social media and how he's growing. And I was telling y'all earlier that he was like blowing up on Instagram at the time, and that's fine. I'm all for you sharing with me your accomplishments, what you're proud of. Yes, I'm here to support you. Tell me. I want you to come tell me these things. But at the same time, for someone that you said you want to see again and like want to take out again and like basically want to get to know better, I'd like to talk more than just that. So one night I ended up posting a piece of content where he was in it, but I didn't tag him or anything because as I mentioned, when I first saw him the first time, I told myself to put my guard up because I wasn't sure what his intentions were. But I truly believe that he was genuine, especially after meeting him in person and everything that he said and done, because I'm all about action. I posted this content and he said, oh, can I share it on my story? And I said, yeah, of course, like do whatever you want. And so he posts it on his story, and then a few minutes later, he asks me, let me just whip out the receipts. So he asked, did you post me or something? Because I'm going kind of viral again. And I said, no, why? He says, oh, never mind, haha, I thought it was you, but I forget, you hate me. So it turns out that some Facebook page was reposting his stuff, and that's how he was gaining a lot of traction onto his Instagram page. But I thought it was really weird with the phrasing. It was like, oh, did you repost me? Oh, of course you didn't, haha, it's because you hate me, aka you never repost me. I thought this was so strange because, like I said, knowing him, I'd like to think that he was genuine and he wasn't here to use me per se, but that was the vibe that I got when I first followed him and saw his content. And so I was like, was my gut right? Was my instinct correct? Should I listen to my intuition? So I just played dumb and I'm like, oh, haha, what do you mean by hate you? And he literally said something that made absolutely no sense. He says, you're scared another man is going to cuff me. Anyway, that article though, LOL. What does that even mean? Like, I didn't repost you because if I reposted you, then I'm scared that someone else is going to see that post and snatch you up before me? Or is he just saying that to be silly and like brush it off like, haha, whatever, like, ooh, you caught on to something. Like, literally, it made no sense. So that definitely was a red flag for me because that came out of nowhere, honestly. And like I said, all he's been talking about for the past week was social media, and here he is again talking about social media. So I just brushed that aside, but it wasn't until the next morning, Saturday morning, where he texts me saying, OMG, my life again, something went viral. I have to take down everything from my story. I will repost it later, just in case you think something else. Isn't that bizarre? I literally woke up to that text message and the first thing I thought was, oh, I had to delete the story because you never reposted me, so there's no point in leaving it up there because the whole reason why I posted it in the first place was for you to reshare me or whatever. And I just think that if you were my true, genuine friend, you wouldn't care if I reposted you or not. Like, you're friends with people to be friends with them, not for reposts or reshares or shoutouts or whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, if that is your sole reason in getting to know me or wanting to be my friend, then you are not my friend, because that's what a user does. They only want something, and when they get that, they're done with you. And the thing is, y'all, nobody can use you unless you let them. And the thing is, I didn't let him. I never tagged him, I never reposted him, I never shared him, I never did nothing because, like I said, I had my guard up because I'm not sure what this guy's intentions are. I literally just met him and hung out with him twice. And so it was very telling when he said that, and I literally was like, why? Like, you took it down because of, you know, XX reason. And he literally was like, oh, I have to go MIA because my manager told me to because I released some information that I wasn't supposed to. And I was like, oh, like, how long do you have to go MIA for? He literally said, oh, for a few hours. Like, MIA for a few hours? That's not even MIA, that's just called living life. Like, bruh. I thought it was just so sus. I thought it was so slimy and just schemy and just very calculated, and just, it didn't sit well with me ever since that conversation. So when I replied to him and he was telling me about the whole thing, how why he had to delete it and go MIA or whatever because he leaked something, I don't even know. He FaceTimes me. This was the second and last time we ever FaceTime each other. It lasted like 5 minutes, and he basically was like explaining to me why he had to delete it and everything. He was like, oh, like, how are you? Like, and I was telling him how I actually had another LA trip, and in about maybe like 2 weeks or so from that time. And he's like, oh my god, yeah, I miss you. I want to treat you out again like the first time. Send me your itinerary so we can plan something. And I told him how I requested for an extra day from the brand that I was working with for this upcoming event in LA in 2 weeks time. I requested an extra day so that way it gives him like more options to pick and choose, to hang out with. So on this FaceTime call, I also bring up to him because I was really concerned about what his intentions were. And so I didn't necessarily say like, oh, what are your intentions? Or like, what do you want from me? I basically said, hey, Jed, I'm concerned that this is consuming you. This whole social media thing is going to get to your head. Like, I'm worried. And from that moment, something like switched in him, I swear, because for the past week, he was really good at communicating. He was texting me like his plans and, oh, I'm busy, I'll talk to you later, and here and there, I miss you, da 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 da. But right up until I said that and I brought that up, he basically stopped talking to me. So after I bring that up to him, I told him, I was like, oh, we should FaceTime later tonight when you get off work. He was like, yeah, I'll FaceTime you before I go live streaming. And I'm like, dude, like, can you not go live streaming for like a day? And like, can you not just like take a day where you just FaceTime me like all night or something? Like, I don't know, whatever. But I was like, okay, well, I will FaceTime you later tonight. Talk to you later. And the night comes, don't hear a peep from him. He goes live streaming, and I'm like, okay, maybe he'll FaceTime me or text me later that night saying, hey, sorry, I was so caught up with work and I was so busy. Let's schedule another time. Nada. Sunday rolls around, I don't hear anything, and I just thought at this point, like, that was just so rude because, like, we literally verbally said, oh, let's FaceTime tonight, and for you to not, like, say, oh, like, let's reschedule or let's make another time for it. I feel like it's very inconsiderate of my time because I literally was like, oh, like, I'm expecting something tonight, and I, like, save kind of like a time slot for you, and for you to, like, not go through with that and not tell me or something, I just think it's so disrespectful. And up until that point, he was so good at communication too. He was saying like his feelings, like, oh, I just want to get to know you better. I want to get my stuff figured out. Oh, I'm at work. Oh, I'm at the gym. Da, 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 da. But now he's not even saying nothing. And I'm like, okay, it must have been something that I said that really, you know, pushed him off the edge. And I was like, well, it must definitely be what I said, because the thing is, I brought that thing up because it was coming from a place of genuine concern and care. As someone that is within the influencer industry, I know what it's like to grow a community and a page and what that's like. And so I wanted to help him in some way without being blunt or too straightforward where it would offend him, but either it offended him or his intentions were not genuine and I caught on and he was like, okay, he caught on, I'm dipping out, or he genuinely was just busy because he started booking gigs and getting auditions and like modeling and doing photo shoots, and so I was just in a weird headspace at this time. So as Sunday rolls around, I don't hear anything from him, but I do remember him telling me that he had his very first photo shoot on Monday. And so I was like, whatever, I'll just text him and, you know, show him that I'm still here in support. And so I texted him saying, hey, wishing you success at your first photo shoot, like have fun. And he never responds to that. The day of the photo shoot comes, he never responds. The day after the photo shoot, he never responds, which is so weird because I had another friend who does modeling and whatnot, and he actually responded saying like, oh my gosh, like, I'm so sorry to get back to you. I was so busy at the photo shoot, but I had so much fun, da 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 da. And that was the least that Jed could do. Like, he didn't say thank you or didn't say, oh my god, I'm so busy, but it was so much fun. I'll tell you all about it later. Nothing. So I genuinely was like, okay, something is up. Like, he is ghosting me hardcore right now. And I gave him the benefit of the doubt too. I was like, oh, maybe he's just really busy and like working really hard to, you know, get a jump start in his, you know, entertainment career or whatnot. But the thing is, everyone is busy. If you truly cared, you would make time. That's the thing. And we're all on our phones, like in the morning and at nighttime. And for somebody that wants to grow their Instagram, you're on your phone. So I just thought it was so bizarre how I never got a message. It wasn't until a few days later, I literally got audio messages, not text messages, audio messages. I'm like, okay, well, this is strange. I haven't heard you in literally a few days, but okay, let's play them. In the audio messages, he was basically saying like, hey, Kevin, I want to update you. I got rejected to a couple modeling agencies, so I just have to keep working hard and it's grinding time. And I was just like, oh, okay, like, yeah, maybe he was just really busy. Like I said, I gave him the benefit of the doubt. And so I texted back saying, oh, like, don't worry about it. There will be more opportunities in the future. You got this. I believe in you. If you ever need anything, I'm here for you. And the thing is, you can tell somebody that you're there for them as much as you want, but at the end of the day, it's up to them to come to you. Like, you could offer all the love and support to one person, but if they don't come to you, then what can you do? Like, it's not in your control. So although I want to show him my support, it seems to me that he doesn't want my support. And I'm all about action and communication, and so for me to text him a few days ago saying like, oh, wishing you success at your photo shoot, oh, I'm here for you, and not hear anything back after that, I was like, okay, like, you do you, boo. So this chapter is inspired by Lizzo's song, Truth Hurts, because why men great till they gotta be great? Literally the lyric, you coulda had a bad bitch, non-committal, helped you with your career, just a little, resonates with me so much, because I literally could have been there to help him, like, with his influencing thing and, like, support him, but no, he didn't want it, so whatever. So this chapter is my upcoming second trip to LA within the next 2 weeks, and so this LA trip was for a brand, and so I texted him because I remember him saying, oh, I want to see you again, I want to treat you out again. He said, I miss you, send me your itinerary, and so I did. I said, hey, I'm going to be in LA in a few days, and I want to see you again. Let's plan something. And he actually finally replies, which was like strange, like he only replies when it's convenient for him. He said, yeah, let's go hang out, let's get boba and whatnot. But the thing is, he wanted to bring like one of his actor friends with him, but I wanted to hang out with him one-on-one because I had so much to like ask him and like talk to him about, and so I felt that it would have been awkward if there was a third wheel, per se. So I land in LA, and I land pretty late, and so it was a bit too late to hang out that same night, and so I said, hey, are you free Saturday night? Because I also had my own things to do there, like the event that I'm working with. And so I said, are you free Saturday evening? Because I would like to have another evening with him, especially because he said, I would like to treat you out again. I was like, I'm taking you up on that offer. But also, again, I just really had a lot to get off my chest and like talk to him about because I wasn't sure what his headspace was at, because to me, like, for you to say like, oh, like, I just want to get to know you better and like be friends, and then the next thing you know, he says, oh, you're just scared another man is gonna cuff me, and like, so do you want me? Do you want to be friends with me? Do you want to be with me? Like, what the heck? This guy literally doesn't make any sense at this point. But anyway, I said, hey, Saturday night. He said, oh yeah, let's do it. He texts me on Thursday, and he says, oh, I actually work all day that day. And I said, oh, well, how about Sunday? Sunday's actually the last day that I'm here in LA, and I leave that night, 7 p.m. So we can do Sunday. He said, oh yeah, that works perfect. And so I was like, great, let's plan for that. And that Thursday of that trip, I never heard from him again. I was just so livid, and everything that I really thought of who he was accurate. It was true. It solidified my perspective and perception of him. And for him to not text me back on Friday or on Saturday night saying like, oh, like, don't you leave tomorrow? Or like, hey, let's make plans, really showed his true colors. The thing that bothered me so much was that he said, oh, I miss you, I want to treat you out again, send me your itinerary, and then he actually had the audacity to text me while I'm in LA saying like, yeah, let's hang out Saturday. Oh, just kidding. And then let's hang out Sunday. And never reach out to me, because at this point I felt that I put in way too much effort into this relationship. And the thing is, it's a two-way street. Like, if I keep giving and giving and giving, I'm going to be drained if I'm not receiving anything back. Like, it needs to be equal. Saturday night, I did not hear anything from him. I did not hear him saying like, oh, like, let's make plans for tomorrow because that's the last day you have. I did not hear him Sunday morning. Like, I did not hear anything. And so at that point, I was over it. I was like, this dude is fake. This guy is a farce. Like, he is not who he seems to be. I'm sitting here like, you're telling me you had 5 days to pick from and you couldn't make 1 hour for me. And I'm a guest. And I'm a guest that you are so excited to see again too, by the way. And so it was really strange for him to treat me like that, because I actually ended up watching one of his live streams while I was in LA. And he was saying how one of his actor friends was like helping him like get a lot of gigs and roles or whatever, and he's so grateful for this friend. And he literally said, oh, I have nothing else to offer him other than my friendship. It's almost like I'm using him. And I was just like, what the heck are you? Like, he literally said the same thing about me. He's like, I have nothing to offer other than a friendship. But he's also like, oh, I almost feel like I'm using him. And I'm like, is he just trying to social climb off these people or something? Like, it just sounded so bizarre. I ended up hanging out with all my other friends that actually made time for me and cared about me and was respectful of my time. And thank you so much to all my friends who hung out with me, by the way. But no, I literally made time for him. I asked for another day to be there in LA, to give him another option. I literally even brought his freaking stupid jacket that he let me borrow, and I forgot to give it back to him. And I was like, I'll give it back to you when I see you again. But I never saw him again, and so now I have a stupid jacket. I don't even know what to do with it. Like, do I sell it? Do I burn it? Do I, like, I don't even know. And to this very day, I have not heard a single peep from him. He has not apologized, saying, oh my God, I'm so sorry we couldn't hang out. Like, I've been so busy. Oh, like, I have no idea. Like, literally no explanation. But, like, a few days ago, he was actually watching my stories. So, like, thanks for being my biggest fan. So on to the last chapter, titled, I Forgot That You Existed. Shout out to my girl, T Swift, soundtrack to my life. I literally was coming up with all these different scenarios and like combing back through my memory, thinking like, what excuses would he have? Like, why didn't he text me? Why didn't he follow up and like follow through with his word? You know what I'm saying? And so I literally was like, well, obviously he's busy, that's one. But the thing is, we're all busy. If you cared, you would make time. Like, I have friends in LA who are booked and busy, but they still made time to see me for lunch. I was like, well, maybe he's uninterested and like he's scared that I like him more than he likes me or something. But the thing is, he said that, oh, like, let's be friends, and I really respected that. I really valued that. I never really said anything after that, like, to hint that hey, like, let's date or anything, because, like, I was not ready for that either, especially from him. But the thing is, like, again, communication, I feel like he would have told me that if he was uninterested. Another theory was that maybe he's insecure or something. Maybe he sees me being so successful, whereas he's just starting out with this thing, that he doesn't feel good about himself, so he doesn't want to be around me because I make him feel like not so significant. I have no idea, but the thing is, like, that's a you problem. You figure that on your own. That's not my fault. Like, you do you. And I was like, maybe he was waiting for me to text him Saturday night or Sunday morning saying like, hey, like, are we gonna hang out or whatnot? But again, I feel that I was putting in so much effort into this friendship or relationship or whatever. Like, I felt that if he really wanted to see me, he would have texted me. And the thing is, he never did. So it was really telling that he did not want to see me. Another theory is that maybe he was jealous of another guy, because I actually ended up hanging out with another guy friend and we went to dinner and everything, and like we just had a good time, and I posted on my story and everything, and maybe Jed was like, oh, like Kevin's with another guy, maybe he's dating this guy, and so he's like backing off. But the thing is, I feel that when you are like dating people, like not boyfriend and boyfriend or girlfriend, whatever you mean, like if you're just like dating basically, I feel like you're still kind of open in that sense because you're just testing out the waters. So I felt that like, if he really wanted to, he would fight for me. You know what I'm saying? Like, you could be jealous, but shouldn't that empower you to be like, no, I want Kevin, or I don't know. So that was just another theory that my friends and I were talking about. And the last theory, and honestly the only thing that I could come up with at this point, is that he is just an F-boy. Like, he genuinely came into this thinking, I'm going to use him, I'm gonna get a shout out, I'm gonna get clout, I'm gonna sweet talk him. Like, was he even curious? I don't even freaking know. Like, I feel like he was just sweet talking his way, trying to use me, but the thing is, I may seem cute and small and so ooh woo woo on the internet, but let me tell you this. I am a bad bitch, okay? Like, you cannot mess with me, I promise you. You came to the wrong person. He probably thought that I was so easy to take advantage of because of just how, you know, innocent my Instagram is and whatnot. But the thing is, there are multiple sides to me. Remember, Jed, remember. And like I said, you can't let somebody use you unless you let them. So from this experience, I've learned so many things, and so I wanted to share with you all. I do have notes. The first thing that I've learned is that you can be there for someone, but it's up to them to come to you. And that stands so true, because I was telling him, oh, like, I'm here for you. If you ever need anyone to talk to or need any help, let me know. But he never came to me for that, and so what can you do at that point? The next thing that I learned is that first dates don't mean shit. I've only ever been on 2 dates, but each date has been so much fun, phenomenal, like perfect first dates. But for me, what I've learned from this experience is that first dates can be great because you put your best foot forward. Like, first impressions, it's always gonna be great. What's going to impress me is if you can take me out on a second date and it being just as good, if not better, because to me that shows that you're invested, you're interested, and you're putting in the effort and the time and the energy. And so I'm just waiting that day until I go on a second date. The next thing that I learned is that it is a two-way street. If you are the only one putting in the effort and they're not reciprocating that, you need to take a step back and reflect and reevaluate everything and think, this is not what I deserve. I deserve someone that can give me as much as they take, because it's going to be very unfair and exhausting on your end when you're the only one trying and reaching out and trying to make plans and showing that you really care and you're interested, and just know your worth and value and stand your ground. And the last thing that I learned is to trust your gut. I honestly trust myself more than anyone. I initially thought this guy was, in it for a specific reason, and I was right. Before I even got to even talk to him, just looking at his page, I was like, this guy really wants to do this internet thing or be famous in some capacity, and that's what I got from it, especially after everything that he's done. Like, if he was genuine, I feel like he would have reached out by now, but I have not heard anything, so my opinion still stands. Like, if it so happens that he's watching this, hello, long time no talk. I'm sorry that this happened the way that it did. I'm sad that it happened the way that it did. I genuinely thought you were a great guy. I had such a great day and time with you when we did hang out, and I really cherish that memory, but the person that you became afterwards, it was very inconsistent with who he was, and it really confused me. I wasn't quite sure if it had to do with me, but at the same time, I felt that I played my part reasonably, and something just wasn't there and clicking and didn't make me feel right. And so I hope there was a genuine reason as to why you didn't reach out or continue this friendship. If not, I hope you learn from your actions, and I hope that you never do this again, because this was not fun one bit. And I wish you nothing but the best, and I hope you have success with your career and whatnot, but in a genuine manner. I hope you do it because you love it, not for superficial reasons. But yes, that is all that I have for today's boy story. It was so long, probably an hour long, I have no idea. But if you're still watching this, thank you so much for watching. Give this video a big thumbs up. Also leave me a comment down below letting me know your thoughts on this dude, on this story. Like, did I expect too much? Did I do too much? Did he do too little? Like, I don't know. Like, let me know your thoughts on this guy, this story. If you have any boy stories that you want to share, let me know down below. Today's flawless feature goes to this person right here. Thank you so much for all of your love and support. I appreciate you so much. If you want to have your very own shout out in the next flawless feature, all you have to do is take a video or a picture that you're watching my latest YouTube video on your Instagram story and tag me at FlawlessKevin, and that is all you have to do. But yes, I love you all so much. Remember to value Remember your self-worth, your value, what you put out there to the world, and know what you deserve back. And yeah, to be flawless is to be yourself. Bye!